Hello, I'm Melinda Farrell and this is Bharat Sundaresan. Down here by the water we saw these boats and wondered if we might be able to nick one and sail up to Brisbane, but I don't think that would be socially responsible, as we keep saying.
Do you know how to ride a boat? I mean,
I don't think you ride one, I think you sail one.
Oh really? Oh, there you go. That clearly rules me out of sailing one or being in charge of one.
Yeah.
I can sit at the back, I can entertain you.
I don't think you can ever really entertain me very much. But let's just say that while we're here in Sydney, we have still been keeping an eye on happenings up in Brisbane. Yes. And we've also been listening into the press conferences, of course. So latest team news, of course, for Australia first. Well, poor old Will Pucovski, he's out. Marcus Harris is in. Great news for Harris. But will someone, whoever it is out there who has a voodoo doll in the shape of Will Pucovski, stop sticking pins in it? The poor guy.
Like, if this was a Hollywood movie or one of those shady Hollywood movies, it'll turn out to be some school friend, not a school friend, a schoolmate of Will Pucovski, who he must have pushed down the swing at some point in his youth and must be the one with the voodoo doll. Don't you think? Like, it has to be someone like that. Even if it is you, if you are listening to this, come on, poor Will Pucovski has been through enough, like Mel said. He's just made his test debut. He looked so good on test debut. And not a concussion this time, but falls and hurts his shoulder and he misses this test again. Who knows when he'll play the next test. It's just so sad. But, having said that, I'm quite happy that Marcus Harris is the guy who gets in. Harry was my pick ahead of Joe Burns before the series started because he is a proper opener. He was scoring runs. He was part of that record partnership with Will Pucovski. So in a way, it's worked out well that Australia now have two specialist openers. And before you jump on me, Will Pucovski was not a specialist opener. He just started opening before the series began in the Shield. So there you go, Warner and Harry. Kind of similar-ish batsmen, but we'll see how they go.
The interesting thing is that now Australia have fielded a different opening partnership in every single test of this series. It's quite a run, really. I'm not sure if I can even think of when that last happened.
Yeah.
But Marcus Harris, he's there based on some great Sheffield Shield performances. And of course, he has played Test cricket before, but his Shield performances have been really good. And so, really no-brainer, I think, for him to come in. Now for India, well, we still don't know their team. My Lord, that sun is so bright. If I start having tears streaming down my face, it's not just because I feel sorry for Will Pucovski, it's because the sun
But
has
I
come
like
out.
the sun. I think it's giving me a halo. I look divine.
That's the only way you're going to get a halo. Let's face it.
Why are you being so mean to me? First the boat and
I'm
all that.
Australian.
Oh, right. Tim Payne, yeah. I love Tim Payne.
So, for India, it's no surprise, really, that they haven't announced a team. We've had a switcheroo because it was India who were announcing their teams first and then Australia on the day of the match. Now we have Australia announcing theirs. India, no, because, well, they've got so many battered soldiers that I think probably in particular with Ashwin and that back, they give them as much time as possible to see if they're actually fit. So we won't know until the morning.
As of now, officially, we just know that Jadeja is not fit. We don't even know where Vihari stands. Well, Vikram Rathore, the batting coach, did not give anything away. We've gotten used to this Indian team kind of announcing they're playing 11s in the last couple of years, but I don't think they're trying to be coy or trying to hold their cards too close to their chest, because I don't think they have any cards to hold as of now. They'll wait till tomorrow morning because our Ashwin, like I said, it's a tweaked back is what we heard. It can take 2 to 3 days to recover, and it's something that I think not just sports people, a lot of people can suffer from. It just happens, and where you just can't sit, which is what Ashwin's been struggling from. It's amazing that he pulled off not just a great bowling performance, getting Steve Smith out, but also a remarkable batting performance that will remain in the annals of Indian cricket history forever. So I think they are sweating on his fitness till tomorrow morning, because Ashwin playing and not playing changes the whole dynamics of this team. Jasprit Bumrah, well, I was the one who stuck my head out and said he's ruled out. There were others as well, of course. But I don't know. I still would be very surprised if he plays. But if he plays just because it's the Gabba, it's good for India. Because remember, he's not played a test match in India. So maybe the Indian team management here thinks, yeah, well, do we really need Bumrah for England?
Ooh. Yeah, of course, that is the thing hovering around in the background, that this team has got to back up very, very soon and play England at home, which is quite astonishing, really. So there are some busted up bodies they'll hopefully be able to mend before that series comes around, and at least they'll have more players around to choose from as well to bring into the squad. You mentioned the Gabba. Now, a funny thing that happens virtually every year at the Gabba is people get very excited about, oh, bouncy Gabba, Australia's going to play 4 quicks, Australia's going to play 4 quicks, and Nathan Lyon will be wheeled out for a press conference, and he always sort of just smiles because he knows he's in the team, and he'll say, if it seems, it spins every year. It always happens. And
then Shane Warne will say the same thing on commentary the next morning.
Exactly. There are some things are predictable in cricket, some things aren't. But it's Nathan Lyon's 100th Test match. And interestingly, it's come up in some of the conversations around in the press conferences, of course, him making his 100th Test appearance, about how well India have played him. And even India said today they didn't feel like he'd bowled badly, but they had played him well, and even suggested that they've been preparing for him since lockdown for a long time, and it's largely worked.
It largely has worked, and Tim Payne as well spoke about how he thought the Indians had played him really well, that the ball was coming out of his hand really well. He should know he is behind the stumps, and of course he does owe him those 3 dropped catches or 2 dropped catches, well, Nathan Lyon has created chances, but when you have 6 wickets at 57 after 3 tests, this is not the Nathan Lyon that we are so used to seeing in Australian conditions. Even last time around, he averaged 30 with the ball. He did get wickets, even though India played him really well. This time, they've just completely shut him out. And it's sad that it's in this backdrop that he will get to play his 100 tests. It's amazing, Mel. There have been, just 12 other Australians who played 100 tests. And I was thinking about it. Australia, like England, have been playing Test cricket for so long. I just thought that there would be many more. Just 12. It's or he will be number 13 if I'm not mistaken. That's quite a small number, but that tells you how where Nathan Lyon sits. He's not quite Mount Rushmore of Australian cricket, but he's definitely Mount Rushmore of Australian bowling in my book. And he's just 4 short of 400 wickets. Who knows? It is a remarkable story. Like Tim Payne kept saying, he was just picked up from a roller at the Adelaide Oval, and look where he's reached now. So for Nathan Lyon's sake, I do hope he reaches the 400 wicket landmark in his 100 tests. It'll be like a nice cushy feeling. But will India let him do that? I don't know. Not the way they're batting.
No, that's right. Now, look, another thing, all these things that keep coming up around.
I just almost fell into the water.
I'll do it. This would go absolutely viral. Maybe if I...
Well, I know how to... No, the problem is not the
hashtag
fact
good
that,
for social.
Yeah, no, you've already hurt my hamstring, and you do realize if you push me and I can swim, but my worry is it's too shallow.
Oh, okay. I'll push you in some deeper water.
That makes more sense. Yeah.
But now, look, tell me what you make of all this stuff about the Indians being unhappy with their accommodation in Brisbane, and that complaints have been made, and they have to clean their own toilets and all this kind of stuff.
I think they've been exaggerated for sure. I mean, yes, maybe they were mentioned, maybe whoever's been writing these stories was mentioned to them, but at times I understand why it gets, if you're not here, you're not aware of the facts on the ground, and of course you can't filter them out, and I don't blame the journalist who's written it, because I've been in that position everywhere, all of us have been in that position. But when you're here, I mean, it is not what the Indians wanted, but I'm sure it's not as bad as it is, and like, I don't even know what half of those things mean. Make your own bed, clean your toilet. I mean, I think the one good thing about this Indian team is, though, even if they have complained, even if they have whinged here and there about accommodation or travel or not being in the bubble, not being allowed outside the bubble, once they've gone onto the field, Mel, they have shown that they just push everything out of the, or not just to the back burner, they just like burn it to the ground, and they come out with showing that spirit that I keep saying has got Indian cricket fans fall in love with Indian Test cricket all over again.
Oh. Now, and one other thing we were talking about earlier is Ashwin, and had some interesting little snippets or insights given by his wife.
It is seriously one of the most endearing pieces I've read around a test match. You know, when there are sporting miracles that take place, like the draw in the SCG, you hear what the coaches said, what the players said, but here is a player's wife, our Ashwin's wife, Preeti, who talks about how she dealt with the nerves sitting in her hotel room in Sydney with her two daughters and phone calls coming in from India, and watching India pull off one of the biggest heists of all time with her husband in the, leading from the front. And she speaks about, for me, the cutest part was when he woke up, he was in great pain, as we've read. His back couldn't even tie his own shoelaces, and one of his daughters runs up to him and says, Appa, do you really need to go to office with all that pain? And it's just so cute. And there are lots of little conversations between mother and daughters that stands, that'll really, they'll put a smile on your face, at some level also put a tear in your eye. It's a must read. It's in the Indian Express. Go check it out. It's going viral today for good reason. Well done, Preeti.
Well, yes, well done. And because I'm sure she's a big fan of this show as well, as everyone is really. So if you want to subscribe, please make sure you do subscribe, because we're very grateful if you do. And we'll also be back during this test match with good, bad, ridiculous.
Ooh,
yeah. So get them ready to stand in with that hashtag, and we will see you for day one.